fought for a UFC title fresh after his win over Terrion Ware. That just goes to show you how close some of these guys are to the greatest prize in all of combat sports, a UFC championship. If it was Terrion Ware who got that win, it could have very easily have been him fighting for a UFC belt.
Jeff Martin, 10 wins, 10 losses from Santa Clarita, trains with the very talented, you'll see in his corner there, David Dunn. Jeff Martin is a guy I've known for quite a number of years in mixed martial arts. He is the epitome of ready, willing, and able. He'll fight anywhere, anytime. Of course, he likes a full camp like anybody else, but he has, on occasion, and his record showing it, stepped up with less notice on fights as well.
Promoters love guys like that.
Fans love guys like that.
Sure.
This is a guy who's coming to fight if he had a weekend to prepare or a full camp. And it'd be interesting to see his style, because he's big on pressure. He handles it well. He dishes it out often. And Terrion Flash Ware is going to throw hands to the degree that he makes his opponents feel like they're surrounded.
Terrion definitely comes with a variety of strikes. It's always an exciting time to watch him fight. You never know what's coming next, but he always seems in control when he's throwing. It's a beautiful thing.
And that's what I'm curious to see, the dynamic of, if you give him time to find the pocket and unload, that's what he does. Fast, accurate, misses very few. Martin, I think you pressure that guy, you don't let him set, keep him off balance. Maybe he has a chance to not be getting pummeled like that with the accuracy and speed of Ware, and as we've seen, very fast hands, Terrion Ware.
Jeff Martin has the skill set to beat the Terrion Ware of 2.5 years ago. Terrion Ware, obviously a fantastic boxer, was susceptible to takedowns, susceptible to kind of getting out clinched and could possibly lose fights that way. Certainly something that Jeff Martin was capable of doing. This version of Terrion Ware, not so fast. He's improved his takedown defense very, very much. He's improved his game up against the cage. And oh yeah, his bread and butter, his boxing, his MMA hands have only gotten better. He is perfectly suited, Terrion Ware, for the championship rounds, for 5-minute round, 25 minutes, because he just wears you out, he figures you out. He's not trying to knock you out in one punch, although he's capable. He wants to figure you out, get you to the body, get you to the face, make you not want to be there anymore, and sometimes it takes that extra 4th and 5th round to really put an exclamation point on the performance.
The only guy that Terrion Flash Ware stands a chance to make not want to be there is the opponent. Everybody watching wants to be there. And here he is, aptly dressed, with 11-3 on his record, Terrion Flash Ware. One of the things I like about this matchup also is, as good as he is, and as evolved as the version of him now is, like you said, if he's going to be off his game, you don't want to do it against the guy who's seasoned and as adaptable as Martin.
He's got
he still has that skill set.
20 fight experience, certainly seen a lot.
Tail of the tape. This shows both records as 11-3. We'll just let that slide. Numbers sometimes lie. Height 1 inch apart, weight almost identical, 0.4 difference. I believe that is the calorie count of 3 Tic Tacs. Not going to be a problem for either fighter. Both guys headline main event worthy. That's why 5-minute rounds with the Bantamweight 135-pound title is on the line.
I'm excited to see Jeff Martin's skill. He's definitely a well-trained fighter coming out of the David Dunn camp, the Fight Academy out in Santa Clarita. Very well-seasoned, very good coach, so you know he's definitely prepared. I definitely like to see what he's going to make Terrion Ware bring to this cage right now.
And I'm also very curious to see how Terrion Ware responds to the first loss in several years. He's so used to winning. I don't believe he's ever lost in the Bamma USA cage. He's fought several times in it. He had a 6-fight winning streak leading up to it. Can he respond from the first loss in a very long time? We'll find out, and Jeff Martin's going to try to give us that answer.
Yes, response to the loss and response to what's clearly going to be, unless we get a different version of Martin, non-stop pressure. To find out, to get the answers to what's going to go down in this Bantamweight title, we need only turn to ring announcer Joe Martinez to introduce Ware versus Martin.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Commerce Casino here in Commerce, California, it is time for the main event of the evening. 5 rounds scheduled for the Bamma USA Bantamweight Championship. Presented by Budweiser. Grab some buds. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the Executive Officer, Andy Foster. The Chairman, John Frierson. Your 3 judges scoring this bout at cage side on the 10-point must system. Mike Bell, Jackie Dinkin, and Steve Davis. And when the action begins inside the cage, your referee in charge, veteran Herb Dane. And now the judges are ready, and the fighters are ready. Fight fans, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He's a mixed martial artist sitting 5 feet 9 inches tall. Official weight, 134 3/4 pounds. In 20 professional bouts, his record stands even at 10 victories and 10 defeats. Here is the challenger from Santa Clarita, California. Please welcome Jeff Martin. And next his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. His background in Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. At 5 feet 8 inches tall, he weighed in officially 134 1/2 pounds. In 14 bouts, his record outstanding with 11 victories and 3 defeats. Hailing from the City of Angels, LA, California, here is the reigning, defending Bamma USA Bantamweight Champion, Terrion. Ware!
All right, gentlemen, you've been given instructions in the back. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. And have a clean fight. Touch gloves. Let's do this.
5 5-minute rounds. Bantamweight title. Bamma USA, the beautiful white belt on the line. Might be the only time guys are fighting for a white belt. But it is one of the nicer belts. And you see Martin come right out, immediately get in front of Ware, ready to throw with him, ready to take him down, whatever he's got to do. Again, I expect pressure from Martin the whole time. He's very seasoned. He's very good at stand-up. He's very good on the ground. The question is, as far as his end, how do people respond when they get hit by Terrion and then they can't stop it?
Typically not well.
It's not easy to do.
Nice overhand right by Terrion Ware. Like I said, he picks his shots. He's just such a savvy boxer. It's almost like he can see what you're doing before you do. And a great knees. Like I said, he's rounding out his arsenal as well. It used to be almost pure boxing. Now we've already seen a kick, an effective knee. And he's already got Jeff Martin kind of backing up, circling, and trying to get a clinch and get away from a pure boxing match.
Yeah, Martin's well-rounded, and he's got to remember that. And don't get me wrong, Martin can stand toe-to-toe with a lot of guys and throw hands, but you want to be aware of what you're going up against. Terrion is not average with speed or accuracy. He's very quick, very accurate.
And just very, very slick. I mean, you don't see a lot of MMA strikers who are so good at countering and so good defensively and kind of figuring you out as the fight goes along. He's got the MMA striking style of a guy who's boxed for 10 years, and he's applied it so well to the cage. And just as I say that, Jeff Martin says, all right, and a good reversal. Martin with that takedown, Terrion Ware savvy to it, able to roll back and get on top.
Yeah, and this is why Terrion's got to work on his ground game.
And a Kimura attempt by Jeff Martin. This is a great position. Yeah, inverted triangle, Kimura option here. Jeff Martin is...
This is the very dangerous Jeff Martin we were talking about.
Terrion stepping over. Fun little scramble
Very
there.
nice.
Terrion Ware ends up on top.
Terrion's got to be careful. Jeff Martin does have a well-rounded skill set, and he's already shown he doesn't have to stand and trade with you. He's got other options.
Martin very game, bullying Terrion Ware against the cage, going for a guillotine, using that headlock to land some knees as well.
It's definitely good use of that position from Martin.
Looks like some blood coming from the face of Martin already. I could be wrong, but it looked like it was on the back of Ware.
And a great double leg.
Martin.
The challenger coming in, showing no respect to the champion, coming right at him.
Well,
takedowns, knees, punches.
Let's be clear about something. Anybody who knows Jeff Martin at all like we do,
Triangle.
you put him in a main event with a title on the line, he's not half-stepping here.
Martin tries to slam out of it, but he's not out of position. That only got it tighter. That's a deep triangle. He's got the angle. He's got the leg locked up. He's got the ankle hooked.
Great position for Terrion.
Terrion's got plenty of time to work this position.
Switching to the armbar.
And that's not good. Martin now down. Terrion Ware tightening everything up. Jeff Martin still fighting.
Martin looked like he was trying to drive into it to let pressure off. Again, picking up Terrion.
Trying to slide it
He's
out
out
effectively.
Phenomenal jiu-jitsu from Jeff Martin.
You already see with just under 2 minutes, we're at a minute and a half left, why
And now
this is our
Kimura
main
right
event.
away. Jeff Martin out of a triangle, into side or a half guard. Gives it up. Instead goes for the underhook, trying to pass guard.
Again, the beautiful transition. You know, if he doesn't have the submission, he's trying to move into position, and that's always a phenomenal. That's a seasoned veteran move.
What Jeff Martin has done in the first 4 minutes of this fight is made everybody forget what his record was and shown why he's challenging for the belt.
He's absolutely has the champion up against the ropes here. He's got now 2 submission attempts on him. He's got his back now. Terrion Ware has been on his heels the entire second half of this first round. Back up to his knees. He's controlling a hand, Terrion Ware. In a much better position now. He can roll to a better position. Jeff Martin still just clinging on top.
Gotta love Martin's pressure. He's definitely not giving Terrion any space to do anything.
This is why in the beginning of the fight, I said it, I've seen
lock.
Martin.
Ankle lock. It's a straight ankle lock. Terrion Ware looks rather calm. Doesn't seem like Jeff Martin has the position here.
10 seconds left. I don't think Terrion's going to tap even if he wanted to.
Definitely not close enough to get the position. He's definitely not in position to tap him, but you got to appreciate the threatening.
1 round down. Main event worthy? Absolutely yes.
Anyone who thought Terrion Ware was going to walk in here and roll over Jeff Martin, they forgot to tell Jeff Martin. He certainly came into the champ and showed him no respect. Multiple submission attempts, takedown attempts, knees to the face.
We see some of the action right here from the first round. Pressure right away. And this is what I talked about before the fight. Jeff Martin is going to make Terrion react, not give him that pocket to sit there and wing shots from, which he does so well.
This is a great little scramble here. And this inverted triangle with Kimura is a much more dangerous position than I think a lot of the crowd maybe realize. If that wrist of Terrion Ware, that right wrist came out, that could have easily been the fight. We've already seen a Kimura finish today. We could have saw another one.
Well, you know, you gotta really love the pressure that Jeff Martin puts when he hits the ground. You know, being a David Dunn trained fighter, he's got that jiu-jitsu, he's got the transitions, and he's really making Terrion Ware work whenever they hit the mat.
Let's see what adjustments the champion makes, if any, here in round 2, scheduled for 5.
I wonder if he's going to try to keep a little distance and see if he can get some shots off from his feet. Of course, Martin not going to accommodate that right away.
Nice timing by Martin to shoot in right when that knee was coming up. His head was off to the side, wasn't going to get struck. But even then, Terrion Ware with that improved takedown defense kept his back from hitting the mat.
Terrion showed great groundwork, too, with his submissions in the first round. And so now Martin knows what he's up against, not just on his feet. But still, you can see from his approach, he's very savvy to the fact that Terrion's not the guy you want to be toe-to-toe with.
This is where Terrion wants to be. Striking distance, stalking his opponent, feinting, moving in and out, picking his shots, keeping his opponent guessing.
This is one of my favorite things about Terrion's game is he stays so calm and collected when he's on his feet. You don't see him throw wild shots. You see him throw shots that are going to land, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
Very little wasted motion. Rarely shows his cards. Jeff Martin's mouth wide up. Both of them, actually. I wonder who was the worst for Ware. Perhaps Jeff Martin was so aggressive in the first. perhaps maybe didn't leave the gas tank fully full for rounds 4 and 5.
They both held and went for submissions, scrambled out. There was a lot of energy expended in that first round. I'm not surprised that both of them would be a little bit tired going into 2, and they've got 5 potential rounds total.
And a lot of the experience factor could be large as well. Terrion Ware, very familiar in 5-round fights, specifically in this venue, in that cage.
I definitely have a feeling this fight is not going all 5 rounds.
You get that feeling. I would agree. Terrion, the red tape gloves. Jeff Martin, the blue tape gloves, both wearing black trunks.
Martin looking right now like he wants nothing to do with Terrion standing up. He wants to avoid that at all costs.
I find that to be a healthy assessment. Just because if you got too bold and too brave toe-to-toe at Terrion, the hand speed might be a problem.
You know, Terrion definitely doing work and trying to put the time in with those leg kicks and then set up the head kick. So he's definitely doing a good job of his setup strikes.
Jeff Martin with kind of a lazy double leg. Didn't really time it, didn't really set it up. This is where Terrion now comfortable. He's got Jeff Martin backing up, picking his shots, moving his head.
How much does the wear and tear and pressure on Terrion that Jeff's given him affect his crisp striking game as this fight moves on? The arms get heavy.
Right.
They certainly can. We've never seen that come from Terrion Ware, though. I mean, we've seen him in 25-minute fights, and he throws as much in the 5th round as he does in the 1st. But that could certainly have been the goal of Jeff Martin. Get him going early, start fast, try to get him tired, try to make those arms heavy. We'll watch as the fight progresses.
Second round of action, 5-minute rounds. Bamma Bantamweight title, 135 on the line.
I would like to see Martin invest more in leg kicks. If you're going to wear Terrion down,
Yeah.
you have to take him out at the base. You can't hope for the head kick to wear him down. Terrion doing a phenomenal job of landing strikes with his hands to the face, strikes with his legs to the bottom. You know, he's doing a good job of making the variety and definitely wearing out Martin's full body, not just aiming for one specific spot.
No, I totally agree with what you said. That plays to what I was saying earlier about not letting Terrion be in the pocket winging shots. And that's a way to do that. You get that front leg damage. You get him unable to plant. Keep him reacting.
Look at that.
Like
he was
that.
setting up. He was looking like he was setting up an overhand right or a Superman punch. Comes in with the leg kick unchecked. That's what I'm talking about. Feints, keeping you guessing. He's thrown maybe 50 different striking techniques. He may throw 50 different ones before this fight's over.
Well, you know, and that's the scariest thing about a striker with some wrestling, is that they can bring the variety to the cage. They can scare you up top and hurt you down low.
And once Terrion Ware stopped respecting the takedowns of Jeff Martin, now he's kind of freed up because Jeff Martin has shot in a couple lazy takedowns, maybe getting a slight hint of desperation. Now he's free to just go. Now he's free to play.
And you see him starting to go to the body with his hands too. So it's not just random head strikes. It's punches to the liver. You know, he's definitely looking to hurt the body of Martin.
I like that Martin is getting out of harm's way a lot of the times when Terrion's either offensively or countering with strikes. He's doing a good job of not getting hit with as many shots as he could. He's definitely done his homework on his boxing and on Terrion's. This is our main event. Bamma USA Badbeat number 13, Bantamweight title, 135-pound weight class. There you see Terrion Flash Ware getting coached by one Ian Harris, or he could be telling him jokes right now. Either one's possible.
Never hurts to calm your fighter down in between rounds. I prefer jokes, actually. I prefer to laugh.
I would, out of anybody, I would believe that coming from you. Joe Henley, one of the more personable and fun people in the sport.
I always tell people, you got to have a good time when you're fighting. If you're not having a good time, then it's work, and nobody wants to work.
Except that guy, Herb Dean.
You know he's enjoying himself right now.
He is. and we enjoy having him. Round number 3. We're looking at 15 more minutes of potential action. Jeff Martin, blue tape gloves. Terrion, also black trunks with the red trim, red gloves.
I feel like we really need to see Martin start to assert himself more. He's definitely letting Terrion dictate the pace, dictate where they go, and that can be a very frightening thing.
If there's one knock you can put on Terrion Ware is that he can sometimes get bullied a little bit. Very aggressive, strong wrestler types, positional types. Could kind of move him where he wants to go. And Jeff Martin was able to do that with relative effectiveness in the first round. Now he is 100% playing Terrion Ware's game.
Yeah.
Striking distance, just a lot of footwork, circling away, not trying to take advantage of the biggest perceived weakness of Terrion Ware.
Yeah,
but that's something that comes into play with a lot of strikers and wrestlers in particular when they fight strikers, is that they tend to be frightened to go forward on those individuals where the pressure is what will actually alleviate the strikes.
Yeah, I mean, Martin's playing with him a little bit here, but, I mean, he's essentially handing him an instrument and saying, have a concert, perform.
Play your Mozart.
Play your Mozart. He's just letting him do what he does best. And don't get me wrong, Martin, extremely tough, can take a lot of abuse, but if you don't have to, don't.
Vintage Terrion Ware right now. Picking his shots, stalking his opponent.
A little off balance.
Trying to get them tired, not just cardio-wise, but just frustrated. Like, what can I do? It's like a guy has 12 different limbs. Love those body shots.
I think Jeff Martin going forward is the Jeff Martin who can win. Jeff Martin going backwards is the Jeff Martin getting hit.
Catching a beating.
Yeah, he needs to be going forward.
Backwards is catching a beating.
Yeah. When he backs Terrion up, he's more effective than he may even realize.
Nice timing on that. That was a perfectly timed double leg. Still not even close.
Don't get me wrong, huge notch in the belt of Martin. If you can knock out Ware with a shot, you can knock out a striker like that. But at some point, I don't know if that's his game plan, but I think when he's aggressive, when he closes the distance, when he roughs him up, like you said, more of a grinder style, it works with Ware for some guys. It works for Martin. But right now is like putting a little leaguer in against Derek Jeter. You mean you're just teeing it up for him. You can't do that.
And Ware has such a way about him of suckering you into his game plan, of just forcing you to fight his fight.
He just walked forward and landed 4 shots, and they weren't all knockout worthy, but he landed 4 shots.
All right, Jeff Martin with the most offense we've seen in the last 2 rounds. Got a body lock. And this is the first time in the last almost 10 minutes where Terrion Ware wasn't just relentlessly punching Jeff Martin. Just like that, Terrion Ware circles out and is back to business.
Knees, elbows, mixed bag of pain coming from Terrion Ware.
It's a frightening thing to let Terrion Ware just find his range.
Martin almost seems tired, like he's falling down.
This can be a frightening situation for Jeff Martin. Knowing that he can't take Terrion down and knowing that he's pretty much a heavy bag at this point.
He just seems to be circling away from Terrion a lot and occasionally throwing some shots. And that was not a hard takedown. We've seen Jeff Martin do some extremely effective takedowns, but that was the difference between sliding down a fireman's pole and diving off a cliff. One has much more intent and velocity.
And this one will probably make it through to the end of the round, but I don't know how Jeff Martin can do another round of this.
You know what I would love to see out of Terrion right now? Leg kicks. Leg kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks. Jeff Martin does not look like he wants to fight right now. And so from Terrion's perspective, hurt him. Leg kicks hurt more than anybody ever understands, anybody ever believes. Hurt him. If I was Terrion, I would go low and go low hard.
As you look at the replay of some of Terrion Ware's masterwork.
A little off balance there. But, I mean, Terrion's doing what he likes to do because the other guy's letting him do it. He's boxing. He's circling. He's picking his shots. He's landing multiple shots. He's not getting hit back. And he's getting a chance to pace himself at a rate that he can effectively do what he wants to do. Not sure why the house lights have come up. Now they went back down.
Because Terrion Ware is fighting lights out. That's why, Ron.
Well, it does say on his card he trains by shadow boxing in the dark. He did say that.
As if Terrion Ware needs even more advantages in this fight. On to the championship rounds.
Round 4 of 5. Bantamweight Bamma USA title on the line. Martin looks a little bit more refreshed than he did at the end of the last round.
Look at how crisp Terrion's body shots are coming, though.
Well, because he's able to do it. He's doing what he does best because he's being allowed to. When he's worried about Jeff Martin choking him out, charging in, taking him down, it's not as easy to set that up.
It's definitely gotten to the point where Terrion is not worried about Martin's strikes at all. At this point, right now Jeff's doing a better job at threatening the takedown, but his strikes are not frightening Terrion at all, and he can definitely, when he finds his range, it's going to be very dangerous.
I think Jeff Martin is still capable of getting a takedown here, but he's not setting up his takedowns with strikes. He's not closing the distance. He needs to throw a feint in there or throw a combination before he goes in for his takedown. Just dropped him with a body shot.
Uh-oh.
This might be the beginning of the end right here.
Looks like.
Martin needs to move here. This could be stopped. That's probably what Herb Dean's yelling at him.
Terrion's talking to Herb Dean. Not sure what he's telling him.
I think he's grabbing his gloves. And that's it. Referee Herb Dean has seen enough after 3.5 rounds. 3 rounds of it just pure domination by Terrion Ware. He retains his bantamweight championship in vintage Terrion Ware fashion, Ron.
The only thing I wouldn't say pure domination. There were moments in that one round when Martin was roughing him up, like you said, and Jeff Martin showed a blueprint for how he could win this fight. I think the problem where it went off the tracks for Martin was he stopped doing the thing that looked like it would work.
Unfortunately, it looked like Martin just happened to run out of steam at what he was good at. He definitely gave Terrion the ability to do what he was good at. Martin had a beautiful ground game. He had beautiful aggression when he felt like he was able to do it. But the minute that he couldn't do that anymore, or in his mind he felt he couldn't do it, it turned into a dangerous situation for him. And like we saw, Terrion just ran with what he was good at and landed beautiful strikes.
I agree. I think what you said is it. I think it's clearly not a will thing. Jeff Martin's not a give-up kind of guy. He didn't give up here. He was still willing to fight. I think it might have been a gas tank issue. Maybe he got worn down or tired or both, and he didn't see the capacity to do what he could do to win.
And it could be another thing. How many 5-round fights has Jeff Martin been a part of? We know Terrion Martin's been a part of a few, being here in the BammaCage, being our champion.
Right.
We don't know what Jeff has been a part of, and so Terrion is used to these things coming. He's used to conserving his gas tank, or controlling his gas tank as the rounds go along. We don't know what Jeff Martin's used to, and maybe he just spent a little bit too much trying to get him in early going, and Terrion put in work.
We know what Terrion's used to, and that's being a champion, and we're going to hear that official coming from ring announcer Joe Martinez right now with the verdict of Ware versus Martin, tonight's main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the official time, 1 minute 37 seconds, round number 3. Stoppage due to strikes for your winner by TKO victory, and still the Bamma USA Bantamweight champion, Terrion Ware.